everybody, thank you for joining me today at Re-Written Vintage Rescue. It's been a busy day for me work-wise, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about some things that have been on my mind, and I'm sure they've been on your mind too. I went to the grocery this week and was stunned to see what the price of milk was compared to just even a month or two ago. Not to mention the price of gas. So we had a video not too long ago that talked about the Depression. Now, once again, let me state, I am not an economist, don't pretend to be. But I do read about history and economics and try to learn as much as I can and stay up to date on political events. Now, if you remember, the Depression was caused by many different things, but it was exacerbated because our banks were not federally insured, and basically there was no money. Businesses weren't getting loans. They were instead going to housing and that type of thing, and then people couldn't pay back their loans. A lot like what we experienced in 2008. However, now we do have federally insured banks. What we're experiencing now, some economists say is even worse, and that is inflation. It's actually called, I believe, an inflationary depression. And so what that means, from my understanding, is that your money isn't worth crap, okay? So the reason for this, there's many different reasons why this happens, but in my opinion, one of the reasons this is happening right now is because so much money is being printed and funneled into our economy. We've seen it to where there are jobs, there are so many jobs. Companies are begging people to come back to work, and they're even offering monetary incentives. If you come back, we'll give you a $500 sign-up bonus and that type of thing. Why? Because they're actually earning more money on unemployment than they were when they were working, because during the coronavirus, the government extended their benefits plus added extra money on. So was that needed during that time? Probably. Is it still needed now? No. Not when there's so many jobs out there. So that's a problem. With the stimulus money, the extra money and unemployment that's being funneled into our economy, more people have money to spend. When people have more money to spend, you have more people vying for the same goods. When you have people vying for the same goods, you have competition, so prices rise. You know, that's just the way of the world. So that's another aspect of it. But let me just run this down for you. I looked on several different very newsworthy websites to make sure I got, you know, my facts right, and it wasn't coming from a biased news source or that type of thing. And they all basically said the same thing, that in the last 2 months, our national debt has risen $28 trillion. 2 months. And that's from all the pumping of money into the economy. Now, if you remember, before coronavirus, our economy was doing great. Businesses were booming, people were working, unemployment was way down. Even for minorities, it was at its lowest ever. Okay, our president is also wanting to pass a $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Okay, so it's already passed the Senate, it's not passed the House yet, and we don't know what the likelihood is of it passing. But when you have a majority, a party majority, you know, chances look pretty good. So, you know, you might be thinking, so what? We got a lot more money in the economy. Why is that a big deal? Well, You can see it in everything from gas prices to food, coffee, services, cars, houses. And let's talk about that a little too. Food prices have risen 3.5% in the last 2 months. Eggs and meat are up 5% over the last 2 months. Gas is up 22%. It's expected to get even higher this summer. Now, some people say, well, that's not Biden's fault. People are traveling more now. And I'm not trying to make this political, folks, but let's talk facts, okay? So when Joe Biden came into office, first thing he did was shut down the Keystone Pipeline, which is been proven by many studies, the safest way to move natural gas. And natural gas is the cleanest fuel that we have. That's been shut down. So you had thousands of people lose their jobs. And we no longer had that energy resource, okay? Then we find out this week that Russian hackers got into another one of our pipelines and shut it down. Well, the government claims that was a privately owned pipeline so that they didn't get involved. However, we'll find out about more of that later. It looks like the people that shut that down were paid $5 million to turn it back on. So you can expect when you start paying people that are doing bad things, you're going to have more bad things follow. So who's to say it's not going to happen to our water? Already happened to our transportation, our food supply. And we'll just try to pay them off to keep it from happening again. Now, what we saw because of this latest shutdown was rising gas prices and a gas shortage, especially in the East, okay? You had people who had money who wanted to buy gas, but the supply was low. They couldn't find it. So basically your money's worth nothing. Okay, so let's go back to this. You guys, lumber is up 250% over last year. So this behind me is gold. House prices are rising, and they're saying that this is a real seller's market right now. You know, people, well, why? They have money that's been funneled into the economy. They want to buy a house, and so the buyer's market is really competitive right now. People who are selling their homes can ask for higher prices, and to build a home, you're going to pay about I believe I read $34,000 more this year than you would last year because of the price of lumber. Okay, new cars are up 9%, which is the highest they've ever been in the last 68 years. Even growing your own food has risen in cost, with the cost of seeds and potted plants up 10.5%. So even if you're back to work now, and even if you never were off work, you've received your stimulus money, so you're thinking, boy, I should really be sitting good. You know, I have money, I can buy the things I want. I could go out and get what I want. Your dollar is worth less because there's too much of it out there. So the dollar that used to buy you a pack of gum now can't buy you a pack of gum. You need $2 to buy a pack of gum now. So what happens is the money that you've put into savings becomes worth less and less. You going out and working, your wage that you get every hour is worth less and less. And it's going to get worse. You guys, we're only 2 months into this situation, so it's going to get worse. So on the opposite end of the spectrum, you know, it's a sad thing when you have things happen in history that are right there before your eyes to study, that you could actually have learned something from, and you didn't. So I wanted to talk about that today. Some of the things we absolutely should learn from the Depression, even though it was a whole other economic scenario. Basically, you didn't have money, so you had to find other ways to survive. Now you have money, but your money is worth nothing, so you have to work harder, maybe take a second job or something to pay for the things that you need to pay for. So you really can learn a lot from what happened in the Depression, how people survived, and use those tools to get you through now. So that's what I wanted to talk about today on this beautiful day. I had the horses out here by me. I heard them running. I don't see them in the pasture right now. And I hope you guys are having a great day too. And you know, anything like this that we talk about, it's not meant to scare anybody, and it's not to start a political debate either. It's to get you prepared and to prepare myself and my family. You can't stick your head in the sand and act like nothing is happening. And then again, you don't have to debate it if you don't want to, but you have to prepare for it. So that's what we're going to talk about today.